So I've got another question for you, David.
Sure.
What jobs should I pursue, or should a person pursue, in order to continue working remotely? Is there a certain type of job that you're seeing that seems to always be remote, or is increasingly remote, or should I what should I be looking for in job postings that kind of tells me that that's a if I want a remote career, that's the way I want to go?
That's a great question, especially because if you're trying to kind of plan a career path that will allow you to maintain your work-life balance. There are some positions that have historically been remote for quite a while, at least with most companies. A lot of consulting firms, people that do business development, sales, a lot of project managers. I remember 15 years ago, project managers and discovery firms were working remotely. But, as far as types of titles within other functions, there's really no clear answer. It kind of depends on the company, just kind of keeping an eye on which companies are going to let people work remotely, which companies won't. But we've seen all types of jobs go remote, and we know that it can be done. We know that IT can support people at home. We've solved most of the cybersecurity issues, which they're never going to all be solved anyway. So I don't think companies are seeing much more of a risk of people working remotely than let's face it, they were already using their phones and laptops when they were traveling and doing all of that stuff. So it's really not a big difference. So kind of have to do a little bit of research. There's some news articles and things coming out. I think you mentioned you had seen Google had kind of previously announced they were going to bring people back, and then they've reined that in a little bit. I know Raymond James, I know someone that works there. It's one of the bigger financial institutions based in Tampa. And they've just recently announced that a lot of their IT people and other folks are going to be able to work from home. A lot of the same job titles at different companies it's going to be a different situation. So it's just kind of a matter of really reading through those job descriptions and seeing what these companies are going to do, and leverage your network. Go to some networking events, utilize LinkedIn groups. If you're a member of, ILTA, ACIDS, some of these other organizations, a lot of them have local groups, and even if they're not doing in-person meetings now, I know they're doing Zoom happy hours and CLEs and those interactive platforms. They allow you to speak with other people and just kind of see what the word on the street is, which companies are being flexible, which of them aren't. And that is about the best answer I can give. I wish I had a crystal ball, but I do know that it looks from what I'm seeing, even a lot of the companies that said they're going to bring people back, and when I say company, that could be a law firm, a vendor, even government, they're not necessarily doing it. They said they were.
And that's something that I'm seeing as well. It is people who thought 6 months ago, when the vaccines first came out, for example, that, oh, great, we'll be able to get everybody back in the office by summer, are realizing that because of the variants, because a lot of their employees might be caregivers of either elderly parents or children, as you mentioned, that they can't come back into the office because they've got to figure out what to do with the people they're caring for. And that is really hard that's on a corporate culture standpoint. If the company has a culture of allowing employees to work from home versus having folks, just hardline, hey, you can't do your job unless you're physically here. And as you said, that's what we've realized in this past year, that, everybody can work from home. It's, it really just depends upon the company. So I think that's a good answer, David. Really doing the research. At the end of the day, we have to do our research. We've got to use our networking resources and ask people questions.
Absolutely.